Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I had something planned, but older sibling has an appointment right now, so I'm being nice and shifting it to tomorrow. So, in that meantime, okay, I know I just had a cat in here. I'm not imagining things. But anyways, in the meantime, we're just going to wing it. Okay, we're going to hodgepodge it. We're going to do whatever. Oh, but first and foremost. So anyways, I have the original affirmators, the deck that started this all when I was under a different name, and crush your goals. Now the funny thing is, I got both of these in Tucson. This one on one visit to baby sibling. This one on another visit to baby sibling. So, and it feels like some cards are missing. Oh my gosh, some cards aren't. Where are they? I don't know what happened. Where'd they go? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, I tell you, all the things. All right. So I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to do a show from the boat I will be on. So I'm going with my dad. But anyways, yeah, so I'm thinking, I don't know, if I do, it'll be 8:30 boat time, but I'm not sure if I'll have enough bandwidth, and I should have Wi-Fi and stuff, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So we'll see what happens. All right. So if you see me and I go live, I go live. If you know me, I'll probably text, and you're a regular watcher, I'll probably text you beforehand. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of be a who knows situation, but that's not till next week. So we still have this week. However, I did go to a store yesterday, courtesy of another one of my friends, the one that got me into Disneyland. Finally found something I wanted after several visits there. Sometimes it's a hit or a miss, but it's never a bad thing to be able to go somewhere that usually only certain people can go to. So, pays to have friends in high places, right? Good morning, Muddy. So I thought, and it's been killing me since yesterday, because this is one of those surprise boxes. I thought, well, I'll open it today. And that right there, I got also yesterday, and I had to color. I got to color them myself. But and of course they never have Goofy. I don't understand why nobody ever has Goofy. I love Goofy. Goofy is the bomb. All right. Ever tell you guys about that time I met Bill Farmer? He is the voice of Goofy, and I about died. Yeah, because I have loved Goofy since I was 18 years old, and there's actually a funny story behind that. So I loved Mickey growing up, pretty much, my whole young years. But then, you start to realize that everybody loves Mickey, and then you're like, well, I'm going to give some love to one of the lesser known characters. So I thought, I'm going to pick Goofy. Just randomly, because he was cute, he was adorable, he's tall, everything, right? The whole package. So I did, and all of a sudden but then I just grew this passion for Goofy, and it drove my parents nuts and my friends, because it is so hard to find. At the time, it was really hard to find Goofy stuff. It still kind of is, but anyways, so all the things, right? All right, so here we go. But anyway, so yes, Goofy has been my all-time favorite. But, I'm not even sure how we got on that subject. But yeah, so I love Disney. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. Let's see what we got. Speaking of Goofy, we got the other Goofy, Pluto. Everybody thinks that Pluto is Goofy, but Pluto is not Goofy. And then, when they're not thinking, is Pluto Goofy, they're wondering, why doesn't Pluto talk but Goofy can? Well, that's because, my friends, Goofy is Mickey's other best friend, but not Mouse's best friend. So, and that would be Pluto, who is they did have Goofy, but he's a fried pickle. Oh, I don't like pickles. All right, so which one did I get? Oh, I got Pluto. Jalapeno cheese fries. Ooh, frites au fromage et jalapeno. Oh my God, he's so freaking cute. Look at him. He's adorable. I love him. He's a little hard. Oh, I see. I think, well, he's attached, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take him out and turn him around. But I'm afraid if I take him out and turn him around, I'm going to lose him. So anyways, but I think he's supposed to go that way. So I don't know. Let's see. I know it always drives sibling nuts when I pull things instead of cutting them. I don't know why. You know, sometimes it's just easier. All right. So this is... oh, I see. There we go. All right. Let's fix that right there. And... dun, da, 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 da. Jalapeno fries. That sounds good. So these are the munchlings. But anyways, yeah, come on, Pluto, stay in here. Pluto, come on, Pluto. All right, there we go. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he is supposed to go this way. I don't know. Aren't you glad you came on this show? Anyways, good morning, Muddy. Wait, did I say that already? My brain. I have not been sleeping well, but apparently, according to something my friend sent me, there we go. Da da da, munchlings. He's so cute. Isn't it so cute? So anyways, I know. Big kid. Big kid. I can't help it. It's just fun, you know? Stuff is fun. Oh, whoops. And there's nothing wrong with stuff being fun, right? So we're going to put Poodle back in the box for right now. Until I can figure out where to put him. Oops. There we go. All right, so let's start with crush your goals. Look, it's so nice. It even gives you a stand in case you want to do a card of the day. So anyways, whoa. Okay, did you see that? Now I'm pretty sure I know how I lost those cards. I don't even know where they went. I don't even know how that deck became only half full. But I've had it for quite a while. And you know, with me, everything's a mystery. Like legit, everything's just a mystery. All right, come on. All right, well, some cards fell out, so let's just start there. How about that? Baby steps. Oh, also, I wanted to wish my aunt a happy birthday. She has a big birthday today. My mom's sister. So, yeah, you know, I'm not going to say how old because, you know, some ladies never tell. I tell, I don't care. In fact, tune in tomorrow because tomorrow when older sibling is able to come on, we'll do the show because she's all, oh, you're going to do that? And normally I don't tell her, but I figured I better tell, something made me tell her and I know what it was because I know that she probably would have enjoyed that particular subject. So I shot my own self in the foot on that one. But, can I say? What can I say? Sorry, I actually have a coffee for myself here from yesterday because I never finished it. I met sibling at her doctor's appointment and then we ended up going to breakfast, so whoops. So yeah, I'm a hot mess today. Anyway, you know, this is probably a good thing I didn't do that other show today. I'm just kind of like whatever. Maybe that will help. Day old caffeine. So anyways, yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Sorry guys. Anyways, this, like I said, this is gonna be one of those days. Look, I even have to do my roots. But anyways, I know. Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about the show. Oh, and my aunt. So it is my aunt's birthday. She's yeah, I'm excited. My mom and my aunt were pretty close, so, you know, but, I miss my mom now. All right. So yeah, tune in for tomorrow's show because you're going to like it. It's poignant. It's well thought out. It is well said. I now follow this person on Instagram because I just love the way they think and it is awesome. But I think it'd also give us some clarity, right? So anyway, so older sibling, if you manage to jump on for a second before your appointment call, there you go. So, oh, dear Jesus in heaven. Crush your goals. I don't know if she's on or not. Because I haven't heard her phone ring yet. But, you know, I'm upstairs, so it's not always easy to tell. She's going to laugh. Because this is one movie I genuinely do not really like. And maybe I will now if I rewatch it. But I've watched it several times and I'm just kind of like... Anyways, so... Here's the quote. Baby steps. Baby steps. baby steps through the office, baby steps out the door. It works. It works. All I have to do is take one little step at a time and I can do anything. Bob Wiley from What About Bob? Freaking What About Bob? But he's not wrong. Okay? He's not wrong. So, good morning, cousin. How are you? So yeah, but please tune in tomorrow because tomorrow is self-care. And actually, when I think about it now, tomorrow's show is actually good for self-care. So, yeah, but baby steps, right? A lot of times when we have a task at hand, whether it's a personal journey, whether it's a, just chores or whatever, we always try to go, all in, and that doesn't always work because sometimes when you try to go all in, you get overwhelmed and then nothing really gets done. You just kind of like, just start having these mini panic attacks because it's like, oh my God, nothing's getting done. No, I can't, If it's spring cleaning, take one section of your house at a time. I know it'll be hard because you might see something over there and go, I got to clean that. But no, stay, plan it out if you have to. Oh my God, I really am a Capricorn. Plan it out. Do a plan of attack around your house, kitchen, dining room, living room, stairs, and just kind of work your way through so that, at least if you're feeling overwhelmed in one area, you can go back to another and just relax. Probably do your living room last because sometimes relaxing in the living room just turns into, oh, I'll do it later. So that's not something you want to do. But anyways, I mean, because it is almost springtime, right? And we are heading into, I want to say the warmer months, but it's really not been cold here. According to my dad, though, summer was not that hot. So, he says maybe that's the trade-off. I don't know. I don't really remember. Anything over 85 degrees right now is just hot to me because I'm hot flashing now. So I'm in perimenopause and it's a bitch. I mean, I've accustomed myself to it and I've realized, okay, this is part of my life. This is how it is. Complaining about it is not going to make it go away, but I'm still kind of bitchy about it. It's like, boy. Why can't men have hot flashes so they understand what it's like? For the women that have the AC on and the fan blowing right on them. So anyways, but no, seriously, I'm not at that point yet. I like to be cold. Okay. And I think I'd like to be cold because it's always nice to warm up. All right. You can always bundle, but you can only get so naked, as older siblings says. And you really can. You can only get so naked, when it's hot. So anyways, but baby steps. If you have a task at hand, take baby steps. Baby steps will help you. Baby steps will see you through. And baby steps will help keep you from being overwhelmed. If it's a personal journey, take baby steps. You can't just dive right in because you don't know what the journey is. When I started on my healing journey, I knew what needed to be healed, but I didn't know where to start. So I started with little things. I started with self-love, which I'm still working on because it's not that easy because you have to know and learn to trust yourself. And for some of us, trusting anything is not that easy. It's a trait of mine to be completely distrustful. But, or what's their ulterior motive? Do they have a motive? Just stupid things like that. Oh, I saw my bling. This is my Hawaiian Heritage bracelet. I have had this baby for, 19 years. You can tell because the enamel on my name is starting to come off. Now, in Hawaiian tradition, I am a bloodline Hawaiian, but in Hawaiian tradition, it is the tradition of a parent to give their child, a Hawaiian name. My parents never did because my mom wanted me to have a Christian name across the board. So, Christina is my middle name. But, I don't know if I should have said that. But yeah, it was so funny because my dad and I were playing trivia the other day. And it says, how many letters are in the alphabet? And I'm all 26. And he's all, you got that fast. And he knew. But I'm all, yeah, that's because I have 25 letters in my name. And I said, my joke is I'm always one short of the alphabet. So, great. Super. But, Oh God, that's one of the siblings saying super de duper. But anyways, I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to pull the top card, so we'll do this one last. Ooh, the top two. We'll do these two last. All right. But anyways, sorry. I know, like I said, you're going to get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything today. This is a hodgepodge of Shelley Marie's brain, which is so scattered. It's not even funny. So again, let's get a little metaphysical. All right. So my friend, I have a very, very good friend, that I met through a website because of, autoimmune disease that older sibling has, which is called CRPS, formerly known as RSD, which RSD seems to have taken on a life of its own. So they have switched the name now from, what is it? Reflex sympathetic dystrophy to, CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome. So, but I met her through one of those groups, and this person and I, we just absolutely fell in love with each other. She is like, I would go as far as to say that she is a very, very close friend of mine, but she has really helped me on my spiritual journey. And by the way, if any of you are friends with me, at Christmas time, I'll post it because her husband looks like Santa, and he does it on purpose because he plays Santa. He plays Santa. He's a, what do they call it? He's a representative of the North Pole, since Santa can't be here. But yeah, he's pretty awesome. And he works for like a car company, I think. So she got to go to, was it Le Mans that she got to go to? Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. But anyways, I don't know a lot about car racing. I did work for Toyota Racing for a while, which was just so awesome. I used to always get caught like just kind of touching the engines because it's like, oh my God, that's so cool. You know, because I love the noise. I love the loud noise, but also the speed's pretty fun. But I couldn't tell you a thing about any kind of car racing. I don't understand. But yeah, it was close to Formula One, but it was something else. It was IndyCar. It was IndyCar. So anyways, but yeah, that was in my past life. So, but that was a fun job. That was a fun job. And it was really neat because at certain times, when after a race, the engines would come back, and you could hear them in the engine room, in the whatever, the some kind of scientific name it had, like a cutesy scientific name for a car racing. But you could hear the engines being revved to see where it went wrong, what needs to be fixed. So yeah, that was pretty cool. They got to know me down there. They're just like, oh, she's back. She's back, just being all pokey with things. But anyways, so yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. So not unusual. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days. But anyways, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun. Oh yeah, the metaphysical part. See, this is my brain. This is what I'm talking about, and this is why it's so funny. Because she sent me a video and said, if you are becoming forgetful, if you are having trouble sleeping, it is because you are about to enter your period of awakening. And to be honest with you, I finally had to come to Jesus with myself and said, look, bitch, you need to start trusting yourself. I know. I really didn't refer to myself as that, but it sure felt like it. It sure felt necessary because it's like, look, bitch, you need to start trusting yourself and stop being so dumb. So, yeah, my cousin said last week that it seemed like I was going with the flow pretty well, but I suck at the flow. Like legit suck at the flow. But this is a random thought, but I was just fixing my ponytail. I can feel how long my hair has gotten. I can feel it on my back. Wow. I know, it's exciting. Although I do miss my pixie cut. All right, so anyways, the video she sent me was about an awakening, and I feel like this is it because you can see me, I'm tripping over my words. And you guys know me. Usually even if I have to wing it and I don't have a subject for the day, I'm usually pretty okay. But today I'm just like, wow. But also, I learned something. Okay, so YouTube isn't just for mindless binging. YouTube is also a place where you can learn things. And I learned a lot of different weird and icky things that your body does while you're sleeping. Oh, no, it's not for the faint of heart. I can watch a horror movie and watch someone get their head lopped off, but you tell me what the body does while we're sleeping, it's like, oh, okay. But one of the things is that while you're sleeping, your brain does a fluid flush, okay? And what it's doing is it's just flushing out all this crap in your head and getting rid of it. So of course that gives you the idea of, how your body just expels things like through sweat and all these other things, maybe some drool, maybe some eye stuff. And the eye stuff is actually because your eyes are cleaning itself. So all that crusty stuff that you get on the edges or in the corners is all the gunk that your eyes have cleaned out. I mean, come on, seriously. It's like having little tiny people in there just cleaning and doing all this stuff and saying, okay, maintenance. It's maintenance time. But when you don't sleep, this affects or you don't sleep long enough, this affects this process. And so a lot of you who may not sleep well, or maybe you just kind of, like nap sleep, this might be why you're struggling with thinking, because when your brain doesn't have a chance to clear out all that stuff, all that gunk just kind of stays there and it weighs on your brain. So there's a lot more of a scientific reason for all this. So get your sleep, okay? If you can, get your sleep. But for me, I haven't been sleeping my full 6 to 7 hours. I've been catching it about 4 or 5, which is okay from time to time, but not 5 days in a row. And I did nap yesterday and I napped the day before, but that just didn't feel like enough. So, but I'm going to go with the awakening on my brain being fuzzy. Why not? So the next card, the only way to get a thing done is to start to do it, then keep on doing it, and finally you'll finish it. So again, we had baby steps and now just start, right? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. I keep seeing that everywhere. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. All right. That was from Langston Hughes, The Big C. So the only way to get a thing done is to start to do it, then keep on doing it, and finally you'll finish it. Like the monks, right? Those wonderful, wonderful monks. And I just saw a post. I think they lost their dog. I know. That made me so sad. Someone said, rest in peace. And forgive me, I can't remember the name of the dog. But these men were just... or men, and I don't know if there were women in there too, but I know there are women monks. But the monks were just phenomenal. They walked from Texas all the way to Washington, D.C. in the name of peace. And for the most part, they were so well received in every place they went, no matter where. I mean, people were in tears. It was almost like Catholics seeing the Pope, right? Except a lot of them aren't Buddhist. But there was just, I think the level and amount of peace that these wonderful monks exude is just so beautiful that it's really kind of overwhelming. And as their journey began to pick up steam and media, more and more people were coming out to greet them and meet them. There were some people, I think somebody, I know a monk lost his leg. Now, I don't want to say that this had something to do with them being kind of ran over by a certain political faction. Some people just don't get it. I'm a Christian, but I'm going to hit you with my car. No, that is not how we work. Okay? But, and like I said, those are Christian nationalists, all right? My Christians out there, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Because you understand the Word of God. You understand the teachings of Jesus, and you show it daily. Even if you don't think you do, you do. When you show up for even just one person in your life, even if it's your pet, if you show up for your animal, your fur baby, you are following the teaching of Jesus. That is if you believe. Okay, if you don't believe, you're just showing up and you're doing good with it. All right. So anyways, to start, you finish. Start to finish, okay? But yeah, the monk's journey was just, it was so inspirational and so beautiful. And despite some of the clowns that showed up to kind of protest, how do you protest monks? Okay? I mean, what is wrong with you in your fucking head that you feel it is okay to protest a bunch of people walking for peace? What is seriously damaged in your mind? What Kool-Aid did you drink? What flavor did you drink that it is okay in your brain to think that that was okay? No. Okay? I don't care what religion you are. These monks were walking for peace. Their dog was walking for peace. Rest in peace. Beautiful dog. But I mean, but to all the people that showed up and came out, oh my God. It was so beautiful and so overwhelming that sometimes it brought me close to tears, because you just see the humanity in people, and you see this beautiful just gathering of strangers coming to see more strangers and being so overwhelmed by their presence, just because it's like, like I said, they just exude this beautiful peace from themselves. I had the opportunity last summer to go to a funeral. That doesn't really feel like an opportunity, but it was a very good friend of mine. Their father had passed, and his mother, who had passed just before mine, and this is another friend that helped get me through my mom's illness and her death. His father passed away, and they had a Buddhist monk there. And oh my God, it was such an overwhelming and beautiful experience. I mean, it's not that, other religious ceremonies are not. They are. But it was just, I've been to so many Catholic funerals. I've been to so many Christian funerals, but I've never been to a Buddhist funeral. And it was just so peaceful and overwhelming and quiet, and just so much. I mean, there's always reverence, but I guess when you've never seen it before, it's just like, wow, it was just amazing. But, Muddy, you know what Kool-Aid they're drinking? The same Kool-Aid that makes them say all of us are going to hell. I know. Can't wait for Comic-Con when they have their own little place all marked out. You're going to hell. Why? Because I'm having fun? Fuck you. Sorry. I don't... I'm a little mouthy today. I'm a little mouthy today. And I've had caffeine on an empty stomach, so this is all getting amplified. Anyway. Plus, I'm running on adrenaline, I think. So, it's not that I don't sleep. I do sleep. I mean, once I get to sleep, I sleep really well. In fact, older siblings' alarm is the alarm that woke me up, not mine. Because I don't know how she does it. But when I'm here, she sleeps through her alarm. When I'm not here, she wakes up. So it's almost like her subconscious is saying, oh, well, Shelly will wake me up. It's like, I'm laying in bed for 10 minutes going, please turn it off. My alarm has 20 more minutes on it. Did not happen. So it's like, fine, I'll get up. But anyway, but yeah, wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Kool-Aid. But yeah, we get those at Comic-Con. And it was so funny. This is a great story. It's a very short story. But we were walking, and older sibling and I were crossing the street, and the guy's all, the world is going to end next year on 5/15, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what day it was. And older sibling just looked at him, and she says, oh, good. That's the perfect way to celebrate my birthday. He just looked at her like, the end of the world is how you want to celebrate your birthday? She's, oh, well. God bless her. That's one of the reasons why I love having her as an older sibling, because she just does not take shit from anybody. She is the most calm, collected person I know. But if you mess with her people, me included, she turns into like a little tiny ninja, like a tack samurai. All right. But yeah, but now, they're not so much on the corners anymore. Comic-Con has just kind of bundled them into one spot. And it's so funny because you always see somebody, because there's always somebody out there is always going to trigger somebody in the crowd. And there's always someone where when you're walking by, you can see them fighting with each other. And then instead of the sign holders, the Kool-Aid drinkers going, oh, let me tell you how I feel about this. They just start singing. And sometimes they sing Amazing Grace. And it's like, do you even know what that song is about? Because you standing here telling me I'm going to hell, or telling these girls they're going to hell because they have these, sexy costumes on. It's like, you know what? They're cosplaying. This is what Comic-Con's about. This is one of the great things about Comic-Con, right? And then sometimes you have religious people yelling with religious people, right? You got the normal Christians yelling with the Christian nationalists. Like I swear these people are the Westboro Church, who I think that's the Westboro Church, right? They're really like kind of anal asshole ones that just, like, oh, well, you're going to hell and you're stupid. And, the ones who weaponize the Bible instead of actually reading it. Hello. But, yeah. So, anyway. It is not a Christian's... I'm trying to find the right word. Let me put it this way. A normal Christian will not tell you you're going to hell. They will sit there and go, what can I do to help you? Without, showering them in Bible verses and, teachings of God, right? I mean, they might post something in their stories, they might post something on their page, and that's their right, because that's their page. But when you come to them and they're hurting, they're not going to sit there and go, well, blah, blah, book, chapter, blah, blah, verse, blah, blah, says. No, they're going to say, what can I do to be there for you? Because they're following their teachings. A Buddhist will sit there and say, what can I do for you? A Muslim will say, what can I do for you? And of course, Christians and, religions will have their radicals. That's just normal. They will always have people who take their sacred word and go, you know what? I'm judging you. And, even the Torah, right? How can I help you? What can I do for you? So let's not judge religions either. All right. Just the stupid ones who drink the Kool-Aid. And then they'll sit there and say, well, I don't think I'm better than you. Like, really? So, well, fine, you're going to hell with me. It's like, if I'm going to hell, I'm taking you with me. But yeah, Sammy, I love that so much. Go, Laura. Oh, it was hilarious. It was so hilarious. When she just said that, she's like, oh, good. It's the best way to celebrate my birthday. Or however she put it. She basically said something about celebrating her birthday, and the guy was just like, what? And I mean, even I'm sitting there, and they kind of start slowly getting into it, because he was on one side of the street and he kept walking with us across the street. And I turned around and I said, dude, look, you're not going to win this one. I know you want to, but you're not going to win this one. I said, she will go with you toe to toe for the rest of the day if she has to. And you are never going to get under her skin, because that's how she is. But I said, you will get under mine, so we're leaving. And I just gently took older sibling by the arm, like, please, can we go? Because this is just dumb. And she's like, but I'm actually, we walked away, but I was having so much fun. You gotta love this chick, all right? She just, oh, do not underestimate the power of a Taurus. Seriously, do not, all right? But, oh yeah, see, exactly. Sammy's saying, showering them with Bible verses taken out of context. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I mean. And she knows, but I'm telling you, the viewer, this is exactly what I mean, that when people take the Bible and hit you with it. All right. They take the Bible and hit you with it. For instance, let's see. This is from my mommy. My mommy gave this to me. And, oh, okay. Well, sort of from my mommy. I wrote it in here. From my mama. I found this after she passed and I took it with me. 2014. Huh. Well, I figured she... To be honest with you, I know she led me to it. And to be extra honest with you, I'm surprised it didn't just fly at my head going, read this, my heathen child. So let's see. Let's just open up to... Oh, look. John 12, chapter 12. Oh, how funny. It's like a Lenten thing. Then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of those who sat at the table with him. Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. So, I mean, I'm trying to think of how they could take this out of context, which might be a little hard because, but they could sit there and say, I don't know. I was trying to go for something, but it did not work. It failed me. But, you know, there are people who will find a way to take this and say, oh, well, you know, it is a woman. Oh, I know. They'll sit there and say, well, you as a woman should respect me. You should wash my feet. Not technically, literally, but figuratively. Basically saying, you know, you're subservient to me. But here's the thing. Jesus didn't think Mary was subservient to him. She did it out of respect and honor for him. There are people out there going, no. Jesus made her do it. No, Jesus did not. So, anyways, she did it. You see that in there, right? He didn't ask her. She just did it. So, because of respect, because of a choice, and it was her choice. So, anyways, look, you live one life, give it all you flipping got, and take all your shots. One's bound to hit the target. Harnam Kaur. I think I said that right. If I did not, I apologize, Mr. Kaur. So, but yeah, I like that. That's kind of YOLO, right? I hate that term, YOLO. You only live once. Because my dad's all, what does that mean? And I said, it means you only live once. And I said, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because technically, you only die once. You live every day. And I get the point of it, okay? I'm not trying to be a total, you know, stick in the mud Gen Xer going, yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But really, you know, it's just, you live every day, okay? You don't have to sit there and go, YOLO as you're bungee jumping off the side of a cliff. No, just say, hey, you know what? I am stepping out of my comfort zone, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's how people get each other to do dumb things. So, you know, but that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I am being a little bit of a stick in the mud Gen Xer, but I just like to think we only die once. So live every day while you can. Make the most of it. So see, look, you live one life, give it all you flipping got, and take all your shots. One's bound to hit the target. So I watched this thing yesterday, right? It was like premature sports celebrations. And there was this kids game, a basketball game between two kids in Japan, or two teams in Japan. And this one kid nails this 2-pointer. So, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I think they're tied. No, they're 1 point ahead, right, of this other team. They're like, yeah, yeah. But then the kid from the other team gets it. He just decides, I'm going to throw this ball across the entire court just in case, just to see what happens, which technically I think would be a 3-point shot because it's out of the key, right? Nails it. And that team won by 1 point. And I was just like, wow. You know, and that just says it right there. Take the shot because you never know. If that kid would have just held onto the ball and said, damn, we lost, they would have lost. But he's like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my shot right here. Okay. He did not throw away his shot. He made it count. So there you go. But anyways, all right. Neil Gaiman. Yes. The Nerd King. Sorry. We have many kings and queens of us nerds and geeks, but he is one of them. So go and make interesting mistakes, make amazing mistakes, make glorious and fantastic mistakes, break rules, leave the world more interesting for you being here. Make the world more interesting for you being here. I heard a great quote from Ray Bradbury the other day, and as someone who loves to write, as you know, it really hit me sideways because sometimes I struggle. And I think there's a part of me that when I get near the end of a story, I'm starting to notice that I have patterns. When I get to the end, near the end of a story, it's kind of like, I try to stupidly keep it going because I'm afraid to say goodbye. The very first novel I ever wrote, which I published for about 5 seconds and then took it off, and I still hear this crap from my cousins. I love them, but they're like, yeah, you took it off, and we can't read it now. And it's like, I'm sorry. But I almost cried. Like, I had to grieve the loss or the finish of this because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like I've spent like 4 months writing this and, you know, longer trying to do something. But I mean, when I did it from start to finish, after just teetering around with different ideas for far too long, I was like, oh. And even Sissy Joe was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I just finished this. And I was 12 years ago. I would just like you to know that they have an anniversary in this book of when this couple finally tied their knot. And I still celebrate that. I had it in my planner last year. I don't know if I have it in my planner this year, but July 21st. July 21st is the day they got married. And so it's just like, after their long journey together. So, you know, anyway, this is getting long. So if you have a goal that is very, very far out and you approach it in little steps, you start to get there faster. So we have a theme here, right? The majority of the cards here have been about accomplishment. How to get motivated, how to get started, how to take baby steps, right? From Bob. What about Bob? And Bob says, take baby steps. And this is true. But if you have a goal that is very, very far out and you approach it in little steps, baby steps, you start to get there faster. Mae Jemison. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And last but not least, this is the card that I said I would not look at till now. Ooh, Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter. Whoever you look up to or put on a pedestal, know that they have fears too. They just learned how to push past it. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. And last but not least, we have the affirmators. Ta-da! I know. So like I said, please come back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good show, I think. Because I know this is something a lot of us struggle with, and I know there's, you know, like we all fall into this mindset. I don't want to say all of us, because I'm sure there's some people that don't, because obviously the lady that said all this in her short video that I saw on my friend's stories, she was just kind of like, so she's got it down. But there are some of us who don't, and I think it will be very good advice. So, oh, look at that. We got a card, so we got to draw the other one. So, all right, magic. Magic and communication. I believe in magic. I see evidence of it all the time, and though the tricks can probably be explained away by something sensible and ordinary, I'd rather not ruin the fun. Other people can fill their days with mere coincidence. I'll fill mine with, holy crap, that's unbelievable. Now I have to figure out how to make this fit with communication. So, wonder how that other person's feeling? Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling? Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will make asses of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism. Yeah, right? What does it say? If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Get it? Ass, you, me. Assume. I know. So, okay, well, yeah, right? So, communication, you know, is kind of magical. Communication is very magical. Because here, it's saying, I believe in magic, I see evidence of it all around, though the tricks can probably be explained away, I'd rather not ruin the fun. Other people can fill their days with mere coincidence. I'll fill mine with, holy crap, that's unbelievable. But, communication, right? Because you are not a mind reader. You may not know the trick happening in your other person's brain that you need to communicate with. This is not easy. This is absolutely not easy. These are two cards that are so polar opposite from my brain today. But, you know, okay, so magic. We'll just go with the next card after that. Connection. I'm connected to the multitudes and I can access, you know what, forget it. I'm not even going to try so hard. For those of you that watch the show normally, you know me. I'm usually a little more spot on. I'm just having fun today. That's just me. I'm just having fun today. But when it comes to communication, my friends, whether you are in a relationship, whether it is with a significant other, a partner, business partner, a friend, a family member, a sibling, communication is key. And here's the thing though. Communication, you know, you may sit there and go, well, I don't get why nobody understands how I'm feeling. And you might be thinking this in your head going, God, nobody understands me. Nobody gets me. You know, I'm so tired of people not understanding me or getting me. And then someone comes up to you and says, hey, you doing okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Sibling and I compete for the world title of that. We sit there, in my head, I'm like, oh, you know, and then, but when somebody asks me, it's like, are you okay? It's like, yes, I'm fine. And you almost slip and go, no. But yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm great. Great. The world is a wonderful place. I mean, in the meantime, you're dying inside and going, gosh. And then you sit there and go, why didn't I say something? So here's the thing. If you want someone to communicate with you, you need to be honest when they ask you how you're doing. Okay? And here's the thing. If you are going to ask someone how they're doing, don't get mad or don't get like short if they open up to you. Because if you're going to ask, you are literally putting yourself in the line of fire of a potential unleashing of, you know, emotional vomit. All right. I can't think of other way to put that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that, you know, sometimes people finally will break down and say, look, you know what, I've been trying to learn how to be more open, how to, you know, really communicate my feelings. And so if you're ready to open that can of worms, you have to be ready to catch those worms when they come out. All right. So, communication is always key. Communication is so important. And we have to allow it to be. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I'll be back here tomorrow, a little bit more in my brain. 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shell Marie Lucas. I had some fun today. I hope you guys did too. You get to see my brain hard at work. I'm also not just going through an awakening, but I'm also readjusting to so we'll make this a mental health thing really quick before I completely sign off. I have 2 meds. I think I talked about this before. I have 2 antidepressants that I use, but I don't use them together. What I do is I have 2 that I know work, but there are times when our body just gets used to things, right? It learns how to just kind of function the same, and then the meds may not work as much. So in order for me to not have to up my dose, because I don't think that really helps me. It might help other people, but for me that doesn't really work. I just switch back to the one that I used before. So like every couple of years, or, you know, like every year and a half to 2 years, I find myself switching back to the other one. And, of course, there's that kind of that in-between place when you're going from one to the other, where you're just waiting like 2 ships crossing in the night for the other one to start working. So I think that's also kind of where my brain is, along with not sleeping that well and hopefully going through an awakening, because I could really use one of those. But, I guess we got to be willing, right? If you want to have an awakening, you gotta just put yourself out there. You got to just say, hey, all right, you know what? I surrender to it. And thank you, because I think I just figured out why I haven't hit that. So I think now that I'm surrendering to it and saying, okay, this is what needs to be done. This is what's going to happen. Let's do this. I think it's going to be easier for me to fall into that new pattern. But also, yeah, we got to give ourselves the opportunity to just allow. All right. So, and if you are switching your meds, just be patient with yourself. Okay. And also be careful. I do let people know, because, you know, even though they're antidepressants, sometimes there can be, this really weird gray area that can cause a lot of mental fallout. So just be careful if you are switching meds. Most doctors will tell you how to do it. They'll have you every other day, and then maybe, you know, like, there's different ways doctors know. My doctor knows and trusts me to know how to move into my new meds, because we've been doing this for so long. And I do kind of feel them working, but right now my body is just, I think, in a confused state. So, and it's bringing my brain with it. I know. But anyways, so yeah, just be careful with that, and, you know, just take care of yourselves. Self-care is the best care. So anyways, again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. And, yeah. Oh, and you know what? I just noticed I got Goofy right there. I had Goofy right there. So that's how you know he's my favorite. But yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure I said all the things I needed to say about my show. So, you know where to find me. You know what time to come on, and I will be back here tomorrow at that time. All right. So have a wonderful remainder of your Tuesday, and thank you so much for putting up with me today. I don't know how you do it, because I'm sitting here going, holy cow, I can't remember a damn thing I just said. But yeah, I hope you had as much fun as I seem to have had. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go caffeinate some more and see how that makes it worse. But yes, I'm sorry. Have a great day, everybody, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.